Hey, it looks like I'm going to have to go out on a business trip for about a week starting next Thursday. That said, things aren't completely set in stone yet, and I'm holding off on giving them a response. Will you be alright for a week if I'm gone?
Oh, a business trip, huh? A week is pretty long for one of those, isn't it? Well, whatever. I suppose I don't really have a problem with it. So, do you think they're going to up your salary if you go on that trip?
I mean, it's not like they just increase someone's salary just for that. I do think they might give me a bit of paid time off, though. But now that you mention it, I wonder if they're going to give me a small bonus for doing this. Honestly, though, I'm more hoping that this could help me advance my career a bit. If my boss sees me as someone who can reliably get results from trips like this, it might be one step towards getting a promotion.
Well, a promotion means you get a higher salary, right? That certainly sounds good to me. A higher salary for you means our lives get easier. You gotta go on that trip.
I mean, yes, that would be the obvious choice, but you're not exactly good at housework, are you? I'm a bit worried about whether or not you can actually handle a week without me there to take care of things.
Relax. There's nothing to worry about. Even if I run into trouble of some kind, I can figure things out somehow.
Oh, you think so? Then I'll just send a message to my boss saying I can be available to go on the trip.
Yeah. I can just have my little sister come by.
Huh? Your little sister? You want to have Maya come here?
Yeah. Maya's good at doing housework, so she can handle things. She's family, so there's nothing to worry about, right? She's not even busy at the moment anyway, so it wouldn't be hard for her to come by. If she's here for the whole week, there won't be any trouble at all, don't you think?
No, hold on a second. Are you sure that's going to be all right? I mean, it's a whole week, not just having her help for a day. Are you sure Maya would be fine with staying over here for a whole week? That's a pretty long time for her to stay around. I feel like that would just be putting too much of a burden on her. And it would be on short notice, too, given the trip is next week.
I'm telling you, it will be fine. I sent her a text about it and she's already replied. She says she's fine with it. She's a really adaptable person, you know.
Really? For a whole week? Oh, that reminds me. I'll need to make sure I make enough food to last a full week. I don't think I'll need to worry about laundry, since I'm pretty sure you know how to use the washing machine. I mean, as long as I prepare the food in advance, you should be able to handle things just fine on your own, won't you?
Nah, I don't actually know how to use the washing machine. It's different from the one at my parents' house.
Seriously? It's a washer-dryer combo machine. All you have to do is put clothes in and press the start button. You don't even need to put in detergent. The machine does it automatically. I even made sure it has plenty to last for almost a month. You can handle just pressing a button, can't you? It's not like I'm even asking you to fold the clothes when it's done.
No, I remember you telling me there are some things you can't have tumble-dried, right?
That won't be a problem for any of your clothes. You also have a week's worth of clean shirts to use anyway. I can handle getting the clothes that can't be washed to the dry cleaners when I get back. As for cleaning, we've got one of those robot vacuums, so you can just press the button on that and leave it to do its thing.
Why do you keep making such a big deal about everything? Stop worrying so much about it. Maya's already confirmed that she can come next week, so there's no need to be trying to run me through how to do everything.
No, that's not the point. I'm trying to say that since this is our house, I feel like we should be the ones dealing with the housework, not just foisting it on relatives. You can handle things yourself without having to rely on someone else, can't you?
What? Don't you remember I have work of my own to do? I don't have time to be doing housework.
Meanwhile, I'm handling all of the housework while still keeping a job.
Well, that's because your job is one you can do at home, right?
Look, most of the housework that would need to be done can already be handled by our appliances. I'm not asking you to have things sparkling clean while I'm gone, just to keep things from getting too messy for a week. Can't you just do that without relying on Maya for help?
Maya's already looking forward to coming here. She isn't objecting to it or anything. So if she's going to be coming here anyway, isn't it just fine to leave things to her?
Okay, look. I've been trying to put things in as nice a way as possible, but I'll just be honest about it. I don't want Maya coming here.
Huh? Why?
I know that you invite her over to our house all the time when I'm not aware of it. Even when I've gone out on a simple overnight trip, you have her come over under the pretense of having her take care of housework. You basically just let her roam free around the house doing whatever she wants. We've talked before about how I found things missing from my room after days where you had her come over. Remember?
What do you mean? Maya's talked about how she's just happy she can help us out in some way, since she feels like you're her older sister. So if you're sisters, then you should have no problem sharing things with her, right? All she's doing is borrowing things. You don't need to be trying to find fault in every little thing she does.
Borrowing, you say? I think borrowing requires that you return what you borrowed, and she hasn't returned a thing to me.
What? It's not like she's taken things for over a year or anything. What's the big deal? She said she'd return them before the year is out. And besides, you're basically her older sister now. You should learn to be more generous.
Regardless, it's not like Maya's particularly good at getting housework done anyway, is she? Every time you have her come over to supposedly do housework, the house is a complete mess when I get back home.
Hey, she's not that bad. You just always end up coming home with bad timing. She's usually just getting started on cleaning up when you get back. And when you get back, you just start doing things yourself, so she can't ever get anything done.
I don't care what excuses you make for her. I am against her coming over to take care of everything. You can easily handle a week on your own if I just prepare enough things in advance for you. Text her to tell her that she's not coming over. Hey, Dana. If you want to go on your business trip, feel free. I'll take good care of your house while you're gone. Oh, hello there, Maya. Sorry, I heard that Nathan sent you a message asking to help deal with the housework while I'm gone on my business trip. But seeing as it is our house, I'd like for us to handle things ourselves. So you won't need to be coming over while I'm away. Hey, don't worry about it. My brother's house is my house, of course. It's no trouble for me. No, it's not. It's my and Nathan's house, not yours. Your trip is starting next Thursday, right? Thankfully, my schedule is still open for that time frame, so it won't be any issue. I'll be staying at your place for the week. No, I'm telling you, we'll be fine. No, you don't need to feel bad about it. Just let me help. No, this isn't an issue of feeling bad or something like that. Oh, yes, that reminds me. I'll be using your room while you're gone, okay? What? My room? I mean, I get along well enough with Nathan, but I'm pretty sure it would be better if we were in separate rooms, you know? So, I'll graciously borrow your room while you're gone. I don't really want to bring a lot of stuff with me either, so I'll be borrowing your clothes and pajamas too. Oh, and that means I'll get to use your fancy, expensive lotions and perfumes too! Looky me! Okay, no, stop right there. I know I've told you this before, but I do not want you entering my room while I'm not around. Well, I'm going to be at your house for a whole week, you know? I still need to be able to actually live my life. It'd be pretty hard to do what I need to do if you can't even do so much as lend me your room. And that's why I'm telling you, you don't need to come in the first place. I mean, come on. I'm just using regular old skincare products at my place. I'm really looking forward to using some of your more high-quality stuff to see how much better it makes my skin. You do realize I haven't given permission for you to use any of my things, right? What does that matter? Nathan said it was okay, you know. So, that's just as good. Anyway, you do realize how absolutely horrendous he is at doing even the most basic of chores, right? He's probably going to just not do any work at all, you know. Even if you gave him the simplest task, he'll try to find some way to get out of it. Don't you think it would be better if I came to make sure that something at least gets done? If I'm not there, the house is going to be a total pigsty, you know?
Maybe so. But up until now, you haven't exactly left the house clean yourself.
Maybe I haven't, but it'll be a lot worse if I'm not there. It'll get so bad that you won't even want to live at your house anymore. And you know what will happen after that. You'll start going out living on the street, trying to catch rest at coffee shops or under bridges. And you'll be using all of your income unnecessarily because you can't just buy cheaper things to keep at your house because you can't bear to live there. All because you just wouldn't let me stay while you're out on your trip.
I can't say I understood even half of that diatribe, but something tells me you aren't familiar with the slippery slope fallacy.
You're right! I have no idea what you're talking about. Look, you're going to be out on a business trip. So why don't you just accept that it's a good idea to have me around to look after the house?
Fine. But I need you to promise me a few things.
Promise what exactly?
First, you do not enter my room under any circumstances. Second, you do not use my things or take my things from the house.
Huh? But what about your lotion and clothes? How am I going to change?
Bring your own clothes and skincare products. I do not want you using mine. Besides, when it comes to clothes at least, you and I are different sizes, aren't we?
Yeah, we should be close enough now. I started a new diet recently, so I've been slimming up. Now, even if it's your clothes, I should be able to fit in them.
You do realize that stretching the fabric and having it practically bursting at the seams doesn't count as fitting, right? Anyway, the third point. You have to take out the trash. I don't mean just throw trash in the can and leave it there. You need to put it out. Fourth, when you use dishes, you need to wash them and put them away in the same day. The only exception would be running the dishwasher overnight. I don't want to return to see the house dirtier than when I left it.
Jeez, you're really throwing out a lot of orders here.
If you don't like my expectations, then you're free not to come next week.
If you're going to be expecting that much, then I want you to pay me something for all this.
Sure. If the house is actually clean when I return, I will be more than happy to pay you for your time. As for food expenses, I will leave some money for groceries for you to use. However, if you break even one of the promises I am laying out to you here, I will not pay you a cent. If there's any other problems that arise, I'll be putting the blame on you and will be looking for you to make up for it.
Jeez, you sound scary. If you're so on edge all the time, you'll just get Nathan to hate you and end up divorcing you, you know.
Whatever. All that matters to me is that you keep those promises. Are you able to do that?
Yes. You can go on your business trip without worrying about things here. Oh, when you finally get back, we should go pick up a huge fillet or something.
Nathan, where are you? I'm out shopping at the moment. What is it? Did something happen? Oh, did something happen? He asks. I need you to come home right this instant. But I'm on a hot streak right now. What do you mean, a hot streak? You're going shopping. What sort of hot streak can you be on while shopping? I mean, I keep finding good deals. Something like that. Something like that? You couldn't make that more suspicious if you tried. So you're saying that you left Maya alone at our house. And not only did you leave her there alone, but you decided to go out gambling? Gambling? No, I'm just taking a short break, that's all. Oh? Did you happen to forget that today is a weekday? What happened to going to work? Oh, I just couldn't manage to get up this morning. So I just didn't go. Ha. Are you crazy? How in the world do you think that's okay? What? It's not my fault. You weren't there. There was nothing I could do. No one was around to wake me up in the morning. What was I supposed to do? I've been gone for a whole week.
Are you saying that you overslept every day this whole week?
Are weekdays generally every day? I don't remember. Anyway, Maya's also not a morning person. It must be genetic or something.
You're kidding.
Anyway, if you're telling me to come home, that means you're home from your business trip, right? I'm surprised. I thought you would be coming back later in the evening. Why did you come back so early?
That's not important right now. The only thing that you should be worrying about is explaining the state of the house.
Explain what?
Why am I seeing a giant stack of dirty dishes in the sink? When I look in the cupboards, it looks like nearly all of the dishes are used, aren't they? All you've done is use dishes and leave them piled up in the sink or on the table. And when you needed clean dishes, all you did was take more out. You haven't cleaned up a single thing.
If I washed the dishes myself, I would just end up getting my skin all dry and chapped. So I just stacked all of the dishes and left them there.
Oh, and I see that's not all you did either. When I looked at the washing machine, I just saw it nearly packed to bursting with dirty clothes. The machine can't even properly turn with this much laundry in it.
What? The weather was bad. I couldn't exactly put it on our clothesline. What, did you think I was just going to hang the clothes and get them soaked?
No, I was more expecting you to use, I don't know, the dryer? You know, the one that is a part of that washing machine. And even if you didn't, today's a clear sunny day. You could have easily hung the clothes out to dry.
I thought that Maya was going to get all the laundry together. Since I was going to have Maya handle the housework, I figured that I'd let her do all of it at her own pace. What's wrong with that?
From how it looks here, I'm not seeing any sign of you having run the vacuum even once. We have a robot vacuum. It does the cleaning for you, and you haven't even run it once. The amount of dust and hair that have been left all over the place is utterly disgusting.
Hey, I didn't know where the on switch was for it.
That is the most pathetic excuse I've ever heard. The on switch is clearly marked, is a different color, and is the biggest switch on the machine. And to top it all off, it has a freaking arrow sticker pointing to it. You have no excuse. But the biggest question I have of all is, why is Maya in my room?
What do you mean, why? Yeah, Maya and I are brother and sister, sure, but we're still a man and a woman. We're not about to just go and sleep in the same room. I thought that would be obvious. If I had a little brother, then maybe I'd be fine with him staying in my room, but that's not how it is.
I told you about what promises I was going to hold Maya to, remember?
What do you expect me to do about it? You're basically sisters now. Just doing this much is fine, isn't it?
What do you mean, doing this much? She is just lounging on my bed, in my room, using my things at her leisure like she owns the place. And that's not all. I'm noticing that there's starting to be more of her things in the room than mine. And it's my room!
Oh, yeah, about that. Maya's just going to start living with us from now on.
Are you insane? What in the world are you saying?
Well, it seems like Maya was working for a really bad company that abused its workers, and eventually it collapsed. So she found herself with nowhere she could really go, and told me that she wanted to live with us. I told her it was fine.
Okay, what? You just told her it was fine without discussing it with me at all?
Oh, what are you getting so worked up about? It's fine, isn't it? We're a family, right? It's not so strange to be living with a sister, is it? I mean, if you're so against it, you can just move out yourself, you know.
Oh, so you're saying it's fine if I leave then?
Well, yeah, seems obvious enough to me.
Sure, okay. I can't say I want to see either of your faces ever again, so I'll just leave.
Go cool your head outside for a bit and maybe come back later. Or not. What's going on here, Dana? Why in the world is your little brother here?
Well, from what you've told me, you can't seem to do any housework without me there, right? So as a replacement for your sister, I figured I'd have my brother go over.
Wait, what? What do you mean as a replacement for Maya?
What do you mean, what do I mean? Maya has gone back home to her parents' house already, hasn't she? Since I'm not in the house either, there's no one left there who will actually do any housework. I can't say I really want to just leave the house in the awful state that it's in, and I figured it would only get worse without anyone doing anything about it. So, out of the kindness of my heart, I sent my brother over to help out.
Of all the people you had to send, why did you have to send Steve?
Well, Steve's been working at a company that does housekeeping services, so he's quite experienced. He's good at doing housework, and he can do a great job waking people up in the morning, too. Since you need to be woken up by someone else like a child every morning, I thought he'd be a great help. I did it all while thinking of you, Nathan. This is all for your sake.
What do you mean, all for my sake? What makes you think it's okay to have someone who's not even related to the family by blood come in the house? How is that necessary? That's not doing something for my sake. That's just being a nuisance.
What do you mean, not related by blood? He's my brother. Last I checked, Maya isn't related by blood to me either. She also was absolutely horrendous to be around, and just made things worse more than anything.
Wait, but her case is different. Maya's a woman. Whether or not it's a man or a woman helping around the house makes a huge difference.
Oh? I can't say I see how that matters in the slightest. Don't worry, it'll all be fine. Unlike Maya, Steve actually cares about keeping things clean. He's not the kind of guy who just leaves everything for later. He gets stuff done right when it needs to. Ah, I just got a message from him, actually. It sounds like the house was really left in a horrid state from what he's telling me. He's looking forward to getting to work. He just can't wait to put his skills to use.
You need to come over and get him to leave now.
Sorry, I can't do that. I've already asked him to handle the housework for at least a week. Oh well, it should be fine if he sleeps in the same room as you, right? He is your little brother, after all. You did say that you would be fine with staying in the same room as your little brother, didn't you?
What are you talking about? Of course I'm against this.
Well, Steve's going to be staying over there so he can get the housework done. So he's only brought an apron with him. But that shouldn't be a problem. You're his older brother. You can lend him your clothes and such, right?
Don't try to screw with me. Those are my things. Why should I have to let my brother-in-law use my things? That's just crazy. Do you have no common sense? Who even thinks it's fine to go over to someone else's house without bringing their own things to begin with? You have got to be joking.
Huh, that's strange. If I remember correctly, Maya just used all of my things as she pleased. Not just that, she actually took my things from my room and still hasn't returned any of them. She always came to our house empty-handed, didn't she? Oh, right. You're telling me that Maya doing all that stuff was just as nonsensical, right?
Hey, this case and that one are totally different.
Oh? And how are they different, might I ask? They are doing exactly the same things. You realize that? You decided you'd just let your sister into our house and into my room without my permission. You gave her carte blanche to just use my things however she liked, and use my room however she liked too. We've got two people who are using the house and the things in the house however they like. In what way are the two any different? Oh, of course. How could I not realize? Unlike Maya, Steve is there to do housework and actually does it. That's the big difference between the two of them. Steve is actually being helpful instead of being a burden that just makes the house worse.
Look, I get it. I was wrong, okay? I'll stop having Maya come over. So please, come and get Steve out of the house. Please. I'm begging you.
I told you already, didn't I? At the very least, Steve is going to stay there for 1 week to deal with cleaning up the house. I'm just going to warn you, Steve is very fired up about cleaning up the house. You might be surprised by how energetic he is about it. So just ignore him and relax while he takes care of things. He won't bother you at all.
Wait, just hold on, Dana. Please. I can't possibly live with someone I don't know. There's no way I can deal with this. Dana, I'm begging you here. Please just come back. From now on, I'll change how I've been acting, and I won't have Maya come to the house anymore. We can just live together with no one else staying with us from now on. Please, forgive me.
Oh? While Maya did absolutely nothing to help, Steve is taking care of all the housework to perfection. Not only that, but he's even waking you up every morning so you don't oversleep. What's not to like about how things are now? There's not that much of a difference than if I were to be there, is there? I mean, come on. He is literally a professional housekeeper. He's probably actually better suited to be there than I am, isn't he?
He fusses over everything and is constantly using my stuff. I am constantly stressed out being around him.
Ah, right. You're only your arrogant self at home when no one's around. When you see anyone else, you're a total introvert. I remember now. You must be on eggshells all the time because you're so scared of talking to him, even though he's younger than you.
Look, I understand how you've been feeling now. I understand everything now. I reflected on what I've done. So please, just come home.
Okay, sure. Well then, I'll just come right back home. With divorce papers in hand, of course.
Wait, divorce papers? What do you mean, divorce papers? You're divorcing me? Why are you divorcing me?
What? You said you understand how I've been feeling, right? So you must understand why I want to divorce you too, right?
But I told you I wasn't going to have Maya come over anymore.
I mean, sure, she was a pain, but that's not the main reason. The problem was how you never listened to a thing I said. The problem is you, Nathan. The very idea of living together with you for one more day brings me unease. And don't even get me started on having kids. I'm not about to spend the rest of my life with someone who won't give me the time of day. So I'm divorcing you.
You're not serious, are you?
You see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You don't ever believe what I say the first time. You think I'm just being too harsh or something. And that's not even counting the times when you've completely ignored me and done things against my wishes. Anyway, your mom, dad, and Maya should be on their way to you now.
Huh? Why are you getting my parents into this?
What's so strange about that? We're getting divorced. Since the biggest issue that led to it are you and your sister, I took the time to explain everything to your parents. I went through everything that's happened quite thoroughly. Afterwards, they told me that they understand my predicament and respect my decision. The whole reason why Maya went back to her parents' house instead of staying with you is because she was being harshly scolded by them.
No, this can't be.
Oh, and that little sob story she was telling about working at a company that abused its workers and being left with nowhere to go? That was a lie. She was fired because she never bothered to show up to work on time. So, making her move back home was the only way she could even be guaranteed to have food to eat. Anyway, after hearing about everything that happened, your parents are feeling that the best move is for her to move in with you. Have fun living a good life together as siblings again. It'll be a life without me, so you can just stay with your sister that you get along with oh so well.
Wait, no. I don't want to get a divorce. If you're not there, I can't possibly pay the rent on this house. It's way too expensive. Please, can't you rethink the whole divorce idea? Maya just thought of you as her older sister. So she thought that she could just be like a spoiled kid around you and do as she liked. She knows better now. She won't act like that ever again.
Oh, so taking my things and never returning them is just acting like a spoiled child? What, are you trying to make it sound like it was just a cute little thing that didn't mean much?
Well, that's what it was. She told me she just wanted an older sister so badly.
Oh, I see. So her reaching into all of my pockets to try to take any money she could find and selling my jewelry online. That's just the sort of thing she thinks a little sister would do, huh?
Huh? Wait, you're saying that she didn't just borrow your clothes and your cosmetics? She did more than that?
Well, since I wanted to see if she could really keep the promises I made her make, I prepared something in advance. Specifically, I took pictures of the state of my room as it was before I left for the business trip. All of my things are present in those photos, and when I started looking on online marketplaces, I saw plenty of pictures of my things up for sale. I see she's got that same sort of arrogance that you do, thinking she can just do what she likes with no consequences.
Are you serious? She did that?
I'll be arriving there in the next 10 minutes or so. I hope you've got a pen ready to sign with. One thing I neglected to mention is that Steve also was there to help pack up all of my things. That includes my luggage, as well as all of the appliances I bought. I plan to take all of it with me when I leave. You're free to do what you like with what's left.
Wait, just hold on, Dana. Don't do this. You'll understand if we just talk about it.
Sure, we can talk about it. In front of a divorce lawyer. After arriving home, I had Nathan sign the divorce papers, and I left, with my brother, my luggage, and all of my appliances in tow. I have records of all of the things that Maya used without my permission, as well as all of the things she sold online. So I'll be filing a lawsuit against her to get her to pay me back the value of everything that was gone. It sounds like Maya managed to find herself some sort of work after a frantic job search. Their parents declared that they were disowning the both of them, so now the two siblings are living a harmonious life together in some cheap apartment. That said, since they both are apparently completely incapable of doing housework and can't get up in the morning to save their lives, they look like they're going to have trouble keeping up a stable job, and will have to rely on part-time work in order to put food on the table. And with all of their struggles just to get food, it looks like they're struggling to make rent each month. It looks like they're on the brink of being evicted. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you feel satisfied by the video, please be sure to leave a like and don't forget to comment and subscribe as well. Your responses serve as motivation for us, so we value every response we get. Please check out our other videos on our channel, and please look forward to the next video. Hey, Jack! Are you there? Where are you right now?
What is it, Sydney?
Look, if you're out trying to find a job, that's fine. But if you're just messing around, then you're going to be in serious trouble.
I've told you countless times already, though I don't know if you're even bothering to try to listen. I have a job. I'm not wasting my life away unemployed. Today I headed out in order to talk with the client directly. This isn't even the first time I've done this. How are you still under this misconception?
Misconception? Yeah, right. You keep trying to tell me you're someone who works from home, right? Are you sure you're not just trying to use that as an excuse to not go job hunting after having graduated a while ago?
I am also doing work at home, yes, but I only consider that a side job, nothing more.
Huh? A side job? You would have to have a main job of some kind to have a side job, wouldn't you?
Not necessarily. When it comes to the bulk of my income, I'm pretty sure Tom already explained it to you, didn't he? You understand how investment income works, right?
Oh, and here we go with this again. That's exactly the kind of stuff I'm talking about. You're just assuming that your investments will pay enough in an attempt to justify not having a real job. The world isn't that simple. You can't expect those investments to give you everything you need.
I mean, it's not like I'm relying that much on that income anyway. That's why I'm doing this other job to begin with, so I can leave the investments alone. The longer I leave them, the more valuable they get. Also, I'm not unemployed, like I already told you.
Oh, come on! I'm not going to let you just railroad this conversation your way.
The only one railroading things is you with your abject refusal to listen to reason.
Tom is just totally different from you. I guess he just felt like he had to treat you nicely as the big brother.
Okay, so you're just ignoring everything I'm saying now?
But as a result, you just seem completely spoiled. And why should I pay attention to someone who has no clue how the world works? I guess I'm the one who has to deal with raking you over the coals so you don't end up a totally worthless person.
I think it would be a lot better if you just stayed out of it, to be honest.
Excuse me?
Look, you haven't made the slightest effort to actually understand what I'm telling you. Everything I say to you goes in one ear and out the other. In fact, I would go so far as to guess that you've listened to what Tom, Mom, and Dad have told you, and just chose to twist their words to match whatever interpretation you wanted to take from them. If you keep blundering forward without thinking everything through, you might be in for some serious trouble in the future. I'd suggest you take a page out of Tom's book and try to pump the brakes a bit before you go charging off doing something reckless that you'll regret later. I'd highly recommend that you don't try to mess with things that you don't understand, and just leave things be until he comes back home from overseas. We're already living just fine together in this duplex. There's no need to rock the boat unnecessarily.
Hey, what are you trying to say? Do you really think you can talk like you have some level of influence around here? Are you forgetting who's the one who's even being kind enough to let a jobless guy like you stick around here? As your brother's wife, I am merely tolerating your presence as you continue to just sit here doing nothing.
So, about that.
What?
That last statement of yours just proved that you don't understand a thing about our situation here.
Excuse me?
If I remember correctly, you're the one who used Tom's overseas business posting as an excuse to start living in my half of the house, right? And this is despite the fact that you already were doing just fine in your half. This is a duplex. They're separate for a reason.
Huh? I have no idea what you're talking about. I used his trip as a reason to live here? What are you trying to say?
All I said was the truth. Nothing more. But for you to look down on me like I'm some leech and just decide for yourself that I have no job? I don't understand how you can even believe this nonsense you're spouting. So please, just drop the issue at least until Tom returns home.
What's with your tone? I don't like the arrogance I'm sensing in it. Well, whatever. Regardless of what's going on, Tom's return home will be the most ideal timing for us to finally decide who's right and wrong. It's, 3 months until he's back home? Once he gets back, we'll see for sure who's in the wrong here. Until then, I suggest you get ready to be kicked out of the house. Okay?
Yeah, right. Hey, Sydney. I just took a look at my room and... What's going on? The room is completely empty. My shelves, bed, desk, clothes, chair. Everything is gone. The only thing left in the room is a small note in the middle of the floor that you wrote.
Ah, so you finally came home, huh? Honestly, for someone as lowly as you to go on a trip to Los Angeles and stay for 3 nights? Now that the time for us to settle our dispute is finally getting closer, you think it's just okay to just go do as you please?
What do you mean, settle our dispute?
Don't tell me you've forgotten. You said it yourself, remember? You said we'll settle things once Tom comes home from overseas.
Excuse me?
My parents-in-law also just happened to be out at a party with some of the neighbors, so they're not here either. So today was my chance. I thought that if I was going to make a move to bring this all to an end, I had to do it now.
Okay. Seriously now. I didn't say a thing about settling things. All I asked was for you to leave things be until he got back.
What are you talking about? That's the same thing! The timing was perfect for me to finally correct your mistaken understanding of how the world works, and in the clearest way possible.
I don't even know how I can approach that convoluted mess of logic. Regardless, Tom comes home from overseas tomorrow, doesn't he? So, why did you feel like you had to start doing things today? Again, I asked you to hold off until he comes back. Not until a day before he comes back. Not until a few hours before he arrives. I asked you specifically to wait until he returns.
Today, tomorrow, what difference does one day make? I mean, no matter how you look at it, all you're waiting for is to be kicked out of the house in the end anyway.
And I've told you that that's only your complete misunderstanding of the situation. I have no clue why you just can't seem to understand what's going on.
What's this now? What am I supposedly misunderstanding?
For the past 3 months, I have tried to break down everything so I could explain it to you in as many different ways as possible. But you just outright refused to listen, and instead did little more than hysterically throw verbal abuse at me day in and day out.
Well, of course I didn't listen to you. What reason would I have to believe some naive simpleton who doesn't understand how society works?
It's astonishing how accurately that describes you.
Anyway, an unemployed layabout like you is nothing but a nuisance. So, while you may have somehow managed to get a car at some point recently, if you don't hurry up and get out of this house, I won't just destroy your things. I'll also smash up that car.
Wow, it's a good thing I brought my work laptop with me on this trip. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to meet my deadline and my clients would lose their trust in me.
Right. All that work you've been doing entirely inside your own head, right? I'm telling you, that sort of stuff is bad for your head. So you need to leave the house before you start causing trouble around here with your insanity. This is my personal style of kindness through strictness. And, well, since there isn't a single thing of yours left in this house, there isn't actually any reason for you to be here anymore, is there?
Right. So it's best if I leave then?
Exactly! That's precisely what you should do.
Okay then. I'm not responsible for anything that comes of this, got it?
Sure. Enjoy all those sour grapes somewhere else. I want you out of here before the end of the day. Say, Jack, could I talk to you for a moment?
What is it?
Look, here's the thing.
Tom just came home, didn't he?
Oh, well, yeah. I wanted to talk to you about that, actually.
When you told him about how you kicked me out of the house, what did he say to you?
The thing is, he sorta, got totally pissed off and shouted at me at the top of his lungs that you're the one who owns this house. He also went off at me about how I was taking your part of the house when I should have been living in the one he and I already had, and that your half was meant for you and whomever you might end up getting together with.
Yep, that's about what I expected from him.
So, what was he talking about? What's going on? This house. Tom built it, didn't he? As the older brother, isn't it his? How did his younger brother, who can't even hold a job, come to be living here? And what is he talking about? Whomever you're going to be with.
Well, let's start with the obvious one. That house is in my name. I'm the one who owns it.
What? Are you kidding me?
As for everything else, ask Tom. If I try to tell you anything, you're just going to twist what I'm saying to suit whatever you want. There's no point in saying any more about this myself, after all, is there?
So, Jack.
Yes. Have you finally got the story straight from Tom?
Yeah. You're the son from my father-in-law's first marriage, then? And Tom is from my mother-in-law's first marriage.
Yes, exactly.
And since Tom wasn't ever recognized as your father's child, he never got any inheritance from him. And I'm sorry, it's a little much to remember all at once.
When my grandfather died, he named me along with my father and uncle as recipients of his estate and his will. As a part of my inheritance, I received his old house, the land around it, and a number of other things. Tom and his biological mother only came into the family by marrying my father 2 years later. And so, neither he nor his mother had any rights to any of the things left by my grandfather, including that house. So, do you finally understand?
I can't believe all this. I hadn't heard a thing about it!
You only never heard about it because you deliberately chose to ignore me and assume your desired reality was the truth. I have explained this to you countless times over the past 3 months.
What? You did?
I'm pretty sure the explanation I just gave was almost word for word the same as my past ones, too. Anyway, when my grandfather's old house was renovated to become the duplex it is now, I paid for all of the costs involved.
No way! You're lying! How can some lazy guy with no job ever come up with that kind of money?
And I say again, I've told you this countless times already. I have a job, and I have income. Maybe you should actually try listening to me this time. I have told you numerous times about how I have passive income from my investments. But I also make money from advertisements as a full-time video maker and streamer.
Huh? Advertisement money?
This is what I was talking about when I was saying I was working from home. You're probably going to have a hard time finding my content since I don't show my face in the videos at all, but every year I get several contracts and sponsorships from different businesses that want to advertise on my channel.
Are you serious?
Oh, and just so you know, I'm not living paycheck to paycheck or something like that. My yearly income from the channel and investments combined comes to around $300,000 a year.
$300,000?
From the level of surprise you just showed, I'm guessing you actually understand now. You finally listened to me for the first time in your life. So with that, I'm guessing you also understand that I actually make a significant amount of money. Finally! I'm so happy that Tom finally came home.
This can't be happening. Hey, Jack! You little... What did you say to Tom?
Huh? What, did Tom do something?
He said he was going to file for divorce!
Oh, he did now, did he?
Why? Why would he do this? All I did was misunderstand some things a little. That's all. Was it really so bad as to want a divorce for it?
Well, to be perfectly honest, yes. I'm not at all surprised he wants a divorce.
What? Why?
Are you really asking that? Did you already forget what you did to me?
What are you talking about?
You threw away literally everything I had in my room.
Wait, that was... Well, I admit that I was in the wrong on that one. But all of your data for your work was still fine, wasn't it? So what's the problem?
You really don't think much about what you're doing, do you? Even if we discount the furniture that you threw out that cost a lot to replace. Among the things you threw out were mementos of my late grandparents and of my late mother.
There were?
There were also antiques that my father had given me when I graduated high school, including a special fountain pen that I used every day and kept in pristine condition. And then there's the present I got from my girlfriend for my birthday, the suit I got from Tom as a graduation gift, my photo album from when I was a kid, my own personal mementos from when I was growing up. All of it. You threw away all of it because you just wanted to kick me out of my own house. A fact you refused to listen to me explain. Because of your childish inability to listen to a truth that didn't agree with you, you threw everything away I ever had to remember my family or my childhood by.
I don't know what I can even say to that.
That's why I asked Tom. It doesn't matter if I received all the money in the world as compensation. All of the things that were thrown out will never come back. So, I asked my brother to cut off the root cause of this whole problem. I asked him to divorce you.
What?
Of course, I knew that he had no obligation to agree to my request. That all depended on how he felt about everything. But it seems that he chose to do what I asked of him this time, doesn't it?
Why? Why would you ask him to do something like that?
Because your very existence causes me emotional trauma.
Huh?
I can't comprehend how a monster like you can even exist. To think that you could be so heartless as to happily throw out every single thing that had sentimental value to someone else. And all because you didn't even have the basic decency to actually listen to what someone else had to say. Who knows what you could do to Tom in the future if you treat his brother like this? I remember how you threatened to destroy my car. What if one day you got angry at him and decided to destroy his?
What are you saying? Tom is my husband. Why would I ever do something like that?
Well, when you suddenly decide to throw out someone's things with zero regard for how much value they hold, I'm pretty sure we can't really consider any possibility out of the question with you.
But he's my husband! It's different! Why is he so quick to take your side?
Tom and I may not be connected by blood, but we still get along really well. Perhaps more than many actual brothers.
Okay, so the two of you have a good relationship. But I have a good relationship with him too. Why would he have married me otherwise?
Well, he understood quite well the amount of pain and sadness felt at seeing all of my memories callously thrown away. As you might expect, that made him unfathomably angry. I could almost feel his heart burning with anger. It sounds like that very day he decided he was going to divorce you.
Couldn't you at least wait a little bit?
No. After what you've done, I'm surprised you think you can even ask for anything at all at this point. I warned you 3 months ago. I told you to hold off on acting recklessly, but just like always, you didn't listen to me. You reap what you sow. Anyway, I've told you everything I need to now. Can you just hurry up and get divorced and get out of this house? Forever.
What? No, wait, please.
Oh, and I'm going to block you, in the hope that you never taint my life with your presence ever again. And so, Tom and Sydney divorced, and Sydney left to go live out in the country somewhere. Though, on Tom's recommendation, I decided to file a lawsuit against Sydney, seeking damages for her destruction of my precious belongings. The total amount came to about $50,000. Though, in a rather unsurprising development, Sydney was someone who was completely irresponsible with her money and had no savings to speak of. Apparently, one of her main aims when marrying Tom was to get her hands on his money. Unable to pay a cent of the damages and grumbling about being ripped off, Sydney found herself at the mercy of her now furious parents. They paid the damages and forced Sydney to pay them back the money through her own work. Now she's working day and night to pay off her colossal debt. As for me, after this sort of traumatic event happened in this house, I decided to sell it. I couldn't bear to live in it any longer. Now I'm looking into renovating another house in the next town over, and I've got my parents, Tom, and my soon-to-be wife in on the planning. Now we're happily talking about this exciting new project and where it will take our lives next.
Thank you very much for watching. Please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Please look forward to the next video.